to my campus and ask of Tasha, I'm going to tear off that cloth of yours.
Do it if you remember.
Sadia shows Mondays and Tuesdays, 8 p.m. right here on TV3. Don't miss it. And it's brought to you by Melcom, where Ghana shops. MTN, everywhere you go.
Eloxy Paint.
Papa sanitary pad.
Origin Zero.
Onga, Mama's Helping Hand. Mixi Choco, Chane Hot.
Solak Herbal Mixture.
Welcome to Midday Live. I am Wendy Laya. Headlines for this afternoon. Level 300 weekend students of Ghana Institute of Journalism kick against writing exams on weekdays. Former President John Mahama urges government as a matter of urgency to complete all projects is inherited from his administration. And on international front, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani warns that the U.S. will regret if Donald Trump scraps the nuclear agreements with Tehran. We have details of these stories and many more lined up. Do stay with us. Let's start with our stories now. And level 300 weekend students at the Ghana Institute of Journalism have threatened to defy the school's directive to write their public relations paper of their end of semester exams on a weekday. The students have for the past 3 weeks been pushing for school authorities to reschedule the date to a weekend instead of next Tuesday, which is May 8th. On the phone line is the SRC president for GIJ, Martin Thompson in Tem. Good afternoon, Martin, and thanks for your time. Can you hear me, Martin? Good afternoon, Martin, and thanks for your time. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Now, what has become of the issue and concerns raised by the weekend students?
Okay. So the weekend students are agitating because their timetable, according to them, doesn't really favor them.
Can you speak up, Martin? I can hardly hear you.
Yes, I'm saying that the weekend students are agitating because their timetable, according to them, doesn't favor them because they are weekend students and yet they are being asked to write their papers, one of their papers, I think, on a Tuesday. And that is, I think, the reason why they are agitating. And then the issue has been that, yes, because they write the same paper with their colleagues at the regular school, normally they ask them to write the papers on the same day. Just that it used to be on a weekend. So if you are a regular student, that is, you come to school from Monday to Friday, you are asked to come and join your colleagues at the weekend school and then write on a weekend. But this year, because of the nature of the timetable or the calendar, there is so much gap between the day the papers, they'll finish their papers, and then the next weekend. So papers will, everybody will finish their paper on Thursday, and so the school or the management or the timetable committee had moved that particular exam to Tuesday. So you write it on Tuesday, then I think there is a Wednesday, that is perhaps a holiday, and then Thursday. So everybody ends their papers on
now,
Thursday.
If I can hold you there, from what you're telling me, this is the very first time such a thing is happening. And as
I believe so.
As a student representative body, what are you doing about the matter, knowing that they're weekend students and they have aired their concerns? What are the school authorities saying?
The issue is a very dicey one, because if you don't know how to, where to stand as an SRC, you might get the issues wrong. Because here lies the case: the regular students are also saying that for once the timetable had favored them, because if you are saying that, okay, you are a weekend student and so you shouldn't write your exams on a weekday. Yet, over the years, the regular students have also compromised and they have been writing their papers on the weekend. So, I mean, the SRC is the SRC for both the weekend and regular students. So we have to know how we handle this situation. What we are doing now is to petition management and ask them to allow them to write the paper at least on a Friday. That will, I think, will be okay. So even though Friday, regular students also don't come to school, yes, no one comes to school on Fridays. Fridays are free. So if you put on a Friday, then everybody would have to compromise.
And what has been the feedback from school authorities on this?
I'm very sure that is almost positive, and then we'll be working on that. Today, we have, as part of this administration, we have the weekend coordinating committee. And so they are somehow in charge of the weekend school, and they'll be meeting the rector this afternoon, I think at 2. So we'll hear the outcome thereafter.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We'll be following up on the story. We just spoke to the GIJSRC president. We'll bring you some more as and when we get them. Let's move on to other stories. And the police in Tema have arrested 9 persons suspected to be dealing in illicit drugs at Tulaku, a suburb within the Sherman municipality. Deputy Regional Commander DCOP Wedupepra led his team to make the arrest.
Items retrieved from the suspects include 8 slabs of compressed dried leaves suspected to be cannabis, 40 wraps and a large quantity of dried leaves also suspected to be cannabis. A number of mobile phones, machetes, knives and other implements were also retrieved from the suspects. Briefing newsmen at the Regional Police Headquarters, the Tema Regional Police Commander DCOP Nana Hene Asuma said such operations would be conducted regularly within the various divisions, districts and metropolises.
Our intelligence indicated that a lot of people are there who are involved in criminal activities. During the sweep, we were able to arrest 9 suspects. The scary aspect was that we found a lot of knives, double-edged sword knives were found there. A number of mobile phones were also retrieved from these people. Currently, they are rest in our case, we're giving them an accommodation to sleep over there while we screen them. At the close of the screen, if we found those who are found to be culpable, we move them to the next stage as we move on to court.
Meanwhile, the dried leaves suspected to be cannabis have been forwarded to the police forensic laboratory for examination.
And out to politics, former President John Mahama has urged governments to stop implementing ad hoc solutions to challenges confronting the country as a matter of urgency to complete all projects it inherited from his administration. Addressing supporters of the NDC at Bolgatanga after the 9th edition of the party's Unity Walk, he wondered why governments and the governing New Patriotic Party is intolerant to criticisms. Here's a report by Tanko Muhammad Rabiu.
The reorganization of the NDC towards 2020 elections, that Unity Walk, took place in the capital of the Upper East region, Bolgatanga, with a huge turnout by party supporters, former government appointees and party executives within and outside the region. The teeming crowd trekked through the principal streets of Bolgatanga with party songs to entertain the public. At a mammoth rally to climax the Unity Walk, the former president thanked regional party executives for organizing the event. The former president said most of the projects started by the NDC had been halted by the Nanado government, including the Bolgatanga-Boku Road, and urged the new government to complete the project.
The schools we're building have come to a stop. Many of the roads we're building have come to a stop. But I have one appeal. If there is one project that we started that is critical to the economic development of the Upper East region, then it is the Bolga-Boku Road.
The former president said the hardship in Ghana was becoming worse under the MPP and asked them to address it.
One of the reasons that they gave that people should vote us out of office was that life was hard. Today, life is even harder. And what is this government offering? I must say, if you look at what this government has done so far in the 1 year, 3 months, if that is what they call incompetence, I call it super incompetence.
Other speakers spoke on the need for the NDC to come back and save Ghanaians from hardship.
Now to the new Patriotic Party and the party's constituency and polling station executives at Fomena in the Ashanti region have warned its Member of Parliament, Andrew Amakwesiama, to refrain from denigrating some government policies. Now, the group claims the MP's comments on the free SHS policy have always been negative, an allegation the MP denies. Here's a report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
The party executives alleged the MP's comments on the free SHS has always been negative, adding that his actions continue to instigate disunity among the members of the party.
He's saying that the free SHS is leading to low enrollment with the private schools. Because he owns a private school, that's why he's sabotaging these policies which is going to help and has started helping majority of Ghanaians in this country.
But the MP, Andrew Esiama, refuted all the allegations, describing them as baseless.
Who in his right senses will say free SHS is not good? Who? Even opposition members say free SHS is good. It's true, I have a school. And even that school is a private, it's a basic school, it's not even SHS. Whereby one can say because SHS, I have SHS, that's why I'm saying. My school I own is a private school and it is a basic school.
Away from that story, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly says it will deal with residents and shop owners who do not participate in its cleanup exercises. The Metropolitan Chief Executive, Mohammed J. who gave the warning at the end of the monthly cleanup exercise at Aboseokai here in Accra, did not rule out arrest and prosecution.
The 4-hour exercise started at about 6 a.m. with some roads blocked to ensure more people participated. The exercise saw workers of Accra Metropolitan Assembly and zoom lie on the silting gutters and clearing mosquito breeding places. The national sanitation exercise in the Accra metropolis was poorly patronized. Residents expressed disappointment over apathy shown in the Aboseokai area. Shops which were open during the exercise were forced to close down by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly Task Force led by the Chief Executive. More residents got themselves involved when the Assembly Task Force went round on inspection. The Accra Metropolitan Chief Executive Mohammed Ajisowa said the Assembly will vigorously enforce the sanitation bylaws to ensure the President's call to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa is materialized.
The solution to the problem is the enforcement of our bylaws, and that's why we've procured 10 pickups. They are fully branded. We have Metro Gas, policemen and environmental health officers that are in these pickups, and their duty is to ensure that they enforce the bylaws. They've been deployed around the city. They are working, and we need to up our game and continue to do so.
He said the Assembly will continue to intensify education to generate increased participation. The Member of Parliament for Ablekuma Central, Ebenezer Nati, explained plans are far advanced to improve the area.
We have so many laws, but implementing it is a problem. But for me, I can assure you, for us in Ablekuma Central constituency, if other constituencies cannot do it, we will do it. Let me give you one example. When you pass through the Takrade station, the highway, people have parked buses there. I gave an ultimatum. I'm giving you within 1 week to move. If you refuse to move, you see the other side of me. Today, go and look at the street. It is there and everybody is happy. That is exactly what we want to do in Ablekuma Central constituency.
Away from the Greater Accra region, work has started on the removal of the 4 roundabouts in the Jisu-Kumasi stretch of the Kumasi Accra highway. Now, the removal of the roundabouts have become necessary following several calls for motorists about the nuisance it poses to the motoring public. Here's a report by Beatrice Biogabra.
The killer roundabouts came to be so called due to the high rate of fatal accidents occurring in their proximity. The 4 roundabouts are located at Ejisu, Boedi Junction, KNUST Police Station and Odium on the Accra-Kumasi Road, classified as an N6 route. The route links Ghana to the Ivory Coast and other neighboring countries who use Ghana's ports for freight transport. To improve safety and traffic flow on the route, a 50-kilometer section was rehabilitated with a grant from the Danish government. The 12.4-kilometer stretch which leads to Kumasi Metropolis was redesigned as a 4-lane highway with 4-legged intersections. But the single-lane roundabout has not been beneficial to commuters. The intersections are normally congested during peak periods of the day. Long vehicular queues are formed as vehicles take up time in negotiating the roundabout. The government wants the intersection redesigned. Work is progressing steadily on the construction of a bypass routes to pave way for reconstruction works to start on the roundabouts. Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensah explained why the project has delayed.
Menshia came out that we are going to have our own late Queen's Mother's funeral from the 1st of December to the middle of December. This was going to bring huge inflows of vehicle and persons to the city. The Minister of Agriculture also decided to have the National Farmers' Day again in Kumasi. Then the new Patriotic Party, during an emergency national executive meeting, also decided to have its extraordinary delegates conference in Kumasi. So it was better that we suspended the project.
Regional Director of the Ghana Highway Authority, Christian Inti, assured the minister the roundabouts will be constructed.
Maintenance work, improvement work going on the diversion routes. We are giving ourselves to the end of the month to finish up with all those auxiliary routes and then all the other work that has been done to allow for emergency situation so that we can take traffic off when we are in a peak period.
To some more stories, and management of VIP Transport Limited has warned other transport operators to desist from embossing its VIP inscription on their buses or face legal action. At a news conference in Accra, General Manager of the company, Adhoc Manso, explained the several buses with VIP inscriptions involved in accidents do not belong to the company.
The news conference, according to the company, was to correct the erroneous impression that its buses are usually involved in accidents. The general manager at Manson cited some accidents involving red VIP buses which do not belong to the company. He noted the red color and the inscription VIP are registered trademarks of the company, adding the company only imports brand new buses and will not allow other transport operators to denigrate its brand.
If they did not know, we have brought to the attention as per our outing this time that yes, we have registered the mark VIP, we have registered the color red, and that we are bringing to their notice. If they fail to take any action, we are also going to get our lawyers to write to them, warning them of what they are indulging in and to refrain from doing so.
He encouraged the public to report drivers who flout road safety regulation.
We have also agreed in principle with the National Road Safety Commission to even plant anonymous passengers on board our buses who will report on the conduct of our bus drivers and the conductors, and then we will take action appropriately.
He called on the police to investigate a video of an accident involving a bus with a VIP inscription, which has gone viral but happens to be false.
And Thomas Khan requires $25,000 to undergo kidney transplant. He suffers from acute kidney failure and his survival would depend on philanthropy to help him out.
Thomas, like many, discovered he had kidney failure after a wrong diagnosis.
The whole thing started like malaria sort of. So I fell sick and I was admitted at the hospital, and I was wondering what kind of malaria that they keep treating and it wasn't going.
He has lived with kidney failure for the last 5 years and presently survives on the expensive procedure of dialysis 3 times a week. However, doctors say he urgently requires a kidney transplant. Maintaining a dry weight of 65 kg is key to improving his health. He has to shed some 5 kg of fluid, but Khan's kidneys won't allow him. Thomas currently weighs 70 kg.
The point is the kidneys are failed. His condition is a chronic one.
I'm hoping and praying that I get a transplant.
Kidney failure treatment without support is a death sentence, but Khan is fortunate. Family and friends are supporting. Thomas now requires help to enable him undergo a kidney transplant in India.
We raised something, but it wasn't able to undertake the transplant. So those monies were used by Thomas Khan on the dialysis. And remember, the dialysis, you have to come, I think, thrice every week.
The cost of dialysis in Ghana is killing patients battling the disease.
Even get the transplant is very, very expensive, and therefore it makes it, virtually impossible for a lot of them. At a point, you'd realize you can sell your whole mansion for the dialysis and still would have to continue. What happens after?
Media General is encouraging all well-meaning Ghanaians to assist raise $25,000 for a kidney transplant to help Khan live life and achieve his dreams and aspirations. Please pay your donations into the TV3 Social Support Fund account number 6010603927 at any Zenith Bank branch. You can also donate on mobile money number 0245221555 or at the TV3 premises at Kanda in Accra.
So remember to keep your donations coming. You're still watching Midday Live. Do stay with us. We have more coming up shortly.
Log on to www.3news.com for more news and updates of our major stories. Join us on Facebook 3 News GH for live streaming and comments on our page. Like and follow us on Twitter at 3 News GH and at 3 Sports GH. Like our pictures on Instagram, TV3 Network. If you missed our live shows, watch a playback on YouTube, TV3 GH. TV3, first in news, best in entertainment.
News at 10. We're live from our studios here at Adisauri. When you miss News 360 at 7 p.m. because of a busy schedule, we'll serve you again with a smart recap tonight at 10 p.m. with a detailed dissection of the major news of the day, so you are never left behind.
They punched my face, used the gun to hit my wrist.
News at 10. News with a broader perspective. My name is Stephen Enti. See you tonight at 10.
2013, we shaped the course of national policy with compelling stories on education and health. In 2016, we provided the platform for political parties and the socially excluded to engage on issues of national concern. TV3 mission is back with a bang. We navigate the turbulent terrain of deprived and hard-to-reach communities.
It's one message for person access to teaching,
empowering women to provide about. We focus our sharp lenses on the health and educational needs of the socially excluded to influence policy interventions that promote inclusiveness.
And it tells you how serious
we will get you result. Mission Ghana, live on News 360. Mission is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, DFID and the European Union.
There are lots of amazing stories out there. What we do on News 360 is to bring to you the most compelling news by teasing out the right pieces that bring the stories to life. My job is to present to you the news in the most gripping manner and asking the critical questions that bring out the needed detail out of the stories.
For more news and updates of our major stories. Join us on Facebook, 3 News GH, for live streaming and comments on our page. Like and follow us on Twitter at 3 News GH and at 3 Sports GH. Like our pictures on Instagram, TV3 Network. If you missed our live shows, watch a playback on YouTube, TV3GH. TV3, first in news, best in entertainment.
When teachers and pupils at the Tikarini Evangelical Presbyterian School in the Pandai district of the Northern Region risk studying in deplorable classrooms months after portions of their roof was ripped off by storm. Inadequate furniture also compels pupils to lie on the floor.
This is a routine academic exercise for kindergarten pupils of the Tikarini Evangelical Presbyterian Basic School. Although the school was preparing to go on vacation, teachers did not renege to execute their mandates. Established more than 2 decades ago, the school continues to serve more than 150 pupils from Tikarini and 4 other adjoining communities. However, lack of teaching and learning materials, coupled with abject poverty, have worsened the plight of the school. Class 4 pupils, for instance, use the Tikarini branch of the Church of Pentecost Auditorium for academic activities. They are ejected whenever the congregation wants to hold morning weekday service. The school has inadequate furniture. In some classes, it is a privilege for a pupil to sit on broken pieces of desk if the person comes to school early.
Most of the students, as we speak, when we are teaching, it is not easy for us to control them. And it is just because when they are to write, a lot of them, where to sit is a problem. Others ought to be on the ground. So how to even make them have a legible handwriting is a serious problem, which we are always encountering.
It's a Monday afternoon and latecomers have had to lie prostrate on floor for the day's academic work. But this is not their only problem. Authorities say enrollment has dwindled due to the existing hardship in the community. At Tikarini, parents give little attention to education. Illiteracy is high.
These textbooks I have with me here
I'm told, are outmoded. But because the school has no supply of textbooks, they are compelled to fall on this. Some of the chapters and the units are torn out. And this, according to teachers, is affecting the way they teach.
Almost all the subjects, as we are speaking, you can go to a classroom, some there are about 5, some 6 or some 7. Some you will not even see a single out of the subject. Sometimes we do pay them, and by parents' self, it is a serious problem.
Chairman of the Parent Teacher Association of the Tikareni School acknowledges the unpleasant situations the staff and pupils endure in the name of education, but says the community cannot do much because of poverty. For some pupils, the zeal to change society through education gives them the edge. Scarcity of water sources in the community has compelled pupils to bring their own water from home. In February this year, a rainstorm succeeded in ripping off portions of the school's roof. 3 months on, the roof has not been fixed. This exposed both teachers and pupils to danger.
The DCE came and we're told he was sent by the MP. With that, he made that of a carpenter to come. And we're told, he said the carpenter should give them estimate for that of the portion that was damaged. As of now, we have not heard anything from them.
Emmanuel Tatablata represents the central government in Bandai.
And we called on one carpenter to give us the estimate. He came with the estimate, but the estimate was not complete. He gave us the estimate without the zinc. We asked him to factor the zinc estimate to it so that we get it complete. So that as and when the common fund come, we will know how much we are allocating to that place, at least to be able to fix, the root of structure.
Stanley Niblewu, TV3 News, Tikareni, Bandai.
And students of Sabonjida MA Junior High School in the Nanumba North Municipality study under harsh conditions. The school currently operates from a room belonging to one of the residents in the area.
Sabonjida, a farming settlement, is located about 19 kilometers away from the Nanumba North Municipal Capital, Bimbila. It is also a boundary community between Nanumba North and East Gonja. The community has a large population but remains undeveloped. Education in this part of the northern region is not the best, as the only junior high school serving Sabonjida and its adjoining communities has remained in a deplorable state over 2 decades. The sheds were put up in former President Jerry John Rawlings's regime in 1992, but has since not received any major facelifts. School authorities say they occasionally mobilize town folk to erect a wall around the structure to save students and teachers from bad weather. On some occasions, the students contribute their quota.
The wall is not strong. It needs to be a block form so that nothing will happen to the bed. The way we use our hands to build it is not strong. That's why it has destroyed like that. And if masters are teaching, we're not getting it. The only thing we'll do is that after the classes, we'll go and sit somewhere which is comfortable so that we can learn and get it. And that was the way we're doing.
But their efforts have not helped much as the walls continue to wash away with the slightest rainfall. 3 years ago, Member of Parliament for Nanumba North, Dominic Nitiwo, bought a trip of sand to mold blocks for the school, but nothing has since been done.
Well, according to him, he said he was coming to mold blocks for a new structure, and then even made us to clear, see that space behind us, to clear the place. I thought was where he was coming to make them set up, do the setting out, and then put up a new school. Looking at the whole thing, my hope, or the way we are seeing the whole thing, if not God's intervention, I see no hope in this case.
Teachers say teaching and learning is not effective here.
When I came here with the first batch, they were able to make grade 13 up to 30. They have not been able to maintain that because of the problems that faces us.
The school has insufficient furniture, and so students are compelled to bring their chairs and tables from home. Students whose parents cannot afford a table sit on the floor.
You all know who a Kama is, right? What does Kama mean?
most of them, they don't have furniture to use. For some years now, we don't get from this assembly any dual decks for the children to use. So they provide their own. Looking at the northern part of the country here, some of them, they don't even know the essence of education. So they are not willing. So to continue. So we are just pleading to the government to come and support us.
Again, the school, which has an enrollment of about 100, has no physical structure as an office. Property of the school are kept with individuals in the community.
We went to the community to ask for somebody's sleeping room, and we do keep our register and other teaching and learning materials there. Certain times it even the rooms link and even destroy parts of our materials, the school materials and the textbooks that is being provided by the GS.
New teachers refuse postings to the school. This teacher, for instance, has provided voluntary service since the last 9 years.
They will post the teachers, they won't come because of the structure. And they are our brothers. I have brothers, my direct brothers here. So if I feel like going to stay at the house, teachers are not coming to teach. It means we are losing education. So that's why some of us are still there.
He said attempts to get him absorbed by Ghana Education Service have failed.
CS will come around, the heads will come around, directors will go for several workshops, and they see me in the district being voluntary teachers taught for this number of years. And I'm not given that chance. But people who have just competed behind me are given the chance, they are recruiting them. And me being the voluntary, serving voluntarily up to this time, have that certificate in my hand. I'm denied the distance, so I feel discouraged.
The school has 2 ICT teachers, but for years, information communication technology is taught in abstract because they have no textbooks.
To send or to receive information. And that is what we are going to base on to learn what we call ICT.
None of the students has seen a computer before, so the mission team showed them a laptop, and this is how they reacted.
I hope this is your first time of seeing the laptop.
Yes. If master is teaching us ICT, everything he taught, we are not understanding it. If he brought everything in the board, if you seen it, he will talk plenty things about it, but we don't understand it. And we're saying that we should be praying that so that the government will help us to get laptop or computer, and we are happy that we have touched laptop today, and we are so happy. If you help us to get laptop, we'll be happy for what we are doing for us.
Sabanga has water challenges, and so students spend longer hours searching for water, thereby impacting negatively on their education. Stakeholders' commitment would be required to make the Sabanga Junior High School a better place for both staff and learners. The structure you see right behind me is what accommodates students of Sabanga and 7 other communities in the Nanumba North municipality of the northern region. Its current state has forced a lot of students to stay away from school. Efforts by politicians to address the situation have failed. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Sabanga.
To some other stories and journalism.
Sexual harassment and abuse discussions have been on the rise worldwide since the Me Too campaign took off in October last year. A women's rights advocate, Shamima Muslim, is of the view the fact that companies have to be pushed to include clauses on sexual harassment in employment contracts tells of the lack of seriousness paid to issues of sexual violence in the media space.
The policies need to be in place, and when people are brave enough to actually report situations of harassment, organizations need to take them serious, and we need to see actions being taken against whether colleagues or people in higher ups. Governments must come in to ensure that they demand, as a matter of law and regulation, that organizations prepare and submit their sexual harassment policy.
She added there are alternative forms of breaking the silence and urged women in powerful positions to avail themselves to other young women for guidance on how to deal with the problem.
Some of these senior colleagues, as you're speaking about, they are busy, they are in management positions. You need to come to them with your problems to give you advice or support you. If you don't, they can't assume and know what's happening in your life. And you'll be surprised that they might be willing and able to help you.
Director of Iron Institute for Women, Politics and Media, Dr. Louise Carol Donko, a panel member, maintains movements like the Me Too campaign would be difficult to adopt in Ghana because chances are those who are in positions to fight for the cause are likely to be culprits themselves.
If we can estimate that if the Me Too movement catches up here, people will be in trouble, I think that is painting a picture of how huge the problem is. As we've seen from the Me Too movement, it's going to get to a time when these behaviors, people would have to pay for them. And if you've done such an act, perhaps in 5 years somebody would be naming you.
The focus of the session was to bring to bear the forms of sexual harassment that women in media face across the world. Egypt's Lamia Radi is a war correspondent. She shared her harrowing experience.
I took a lot of trainings, like what they called dangerous environment trainings. Sexual harassment and sexual violence was a very minimal part about it. On 2005, it was in Egypt, it was a demonstration against former President Mubarak. And herds of thugs came and sexually harassed female journalists. I was one of them. A young colleague, she was stripped of her clothes, she was groped and sexually assaulted with their hands, and nothing happened. No one intervened. The police was there and they didn't lift a finger to help her. This was even more painful than the incident itself, because I called a colleague to report on the incident. And she's a woman, she's a journalist, and she's an international journalist, not from our part of the world. And she said, okay, but this is not important. We'll say it later or not even put it.
Journalist and writer Rana Ayub said fake pornographic photos of her were released onto the internet as punishment for daring to go up against Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
I think cyber sexual harassment took a new meaning for me this time around. I mean, of course, every time I have done a big investigation that exposes the government, this is troll army which is unleashed on me, which indulges in character assassination. And I could see that there were people, there were voyeurs who would like to watch these videos because it's pornography. Institutions like Facebook and Twitter are not doing enough. They're only abetting these cyber crimes, because I remember reporting these pornographic videos to Twitter, and I got a response immediately saying this does not violate our policy. If this does not violate Twitter policy, what does?
Rana Ayub encouraged female journalists and other young women to stand firm in their beliefs and convictions, regardless of the level of harassment meted out to them.
What happened to me is damning, what happened to me is distressing, but it took me about 10 days to emerge out of this. Understand that the reason why they are doing this is because your work impacts them. Do not let these people determine or define you by what they speak about your body and your body parts. You are more than a sum total of all your body parts. So do not let anybody intimidate you by your naked body or harassing you. The reason why they are afraid of this is because they do not want to hear your voice. And the only way to silence your voice is your body. So do not let them shame you into that.
At the end of the session, speakers urged women in media to form a united front and use their respective platforms to speak out about all forms of sexual violence against women in their countries and around the world.
This is Midday Live. We have sports next. To stay with us.
Can be very dark and confusing, but with the right information from the experts, things get clearer.
There is smuggling,
And that is why they are buying certain products at the price that they are buying them now.
But then you don't add another cost of doing business onto production line and onto businessmen.
And it even gets inspirational when we also hear the success stories of colleague entrepreneurs.
If you do the market segmentation, you realize that although there are a lot of courier companies, but specific segments are not saturated.
Business Focus makes the business world less confusing and more inspiring.
For priceless information about business and the economy, watch Business Focus on Mondays at 6 p.m. only on TV3.
Business Focus, inspiring business and economic growth.
Business Focus is brought to you by Star Life. Star Life, your solid partner for life.
Vodafone, the future is exciting. Ready?
Hello, welcome to News at 10. We're live from our studios here at Adisawi. When you miss News 360 at 7 p.m. because of a busy schedule, we'll serve you again with a smart recap tonight at 10 p.m. with a detailed dissection of the major news of the day, so you are never left behind.
They punch my face, use the gun to hit my rib.
News at 10. News with a broader perspective.
My name is Stephen Enti. See you tonight at 10.
In 2013, we shaped the course of national policy with compelling stories on education and health. In 2016, we provided the platform for political parties and the socially excluded to engage on issues of national concern. TV3 mission is back with a bang. We navigate the turbulent terrain of deprived and hard-to-reach communities.
It's one message for person
access to teaching,
empowering women to they provide about.
We focus our sharp lenses on the health and educational needs of the socially excluded to influence policy interventions that promote inclusiveness.
And it tells you how serious
will get you result. Mission Ghana, live on News 360.
Mission is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, DFID and the European Union.
Sports News segment is brought to you by Cowbell.
Hi, pleasant afternoon and welcome to the sports segment here on Midday Live. My name is Yao Ofusula. We will start off from the Ghana Premier League, where yesterday the match that took place between the Elmina Sharks and Ashanti Gold Football Club at the Indom Sports Stadium ended 0-0 in favour of both sides. The Ashanti Gold still maintained their top spot in the Ghana Premier League even after that goalless draw. But Inter Allies will face Brekum Chelsea later on today. Liberty Professionals will be at the Dansuman Carl Reindorf Park and take on Karela United. Mediama will face Dreams FC. Wafa will take on Wa All Stars at the Sugakope Park, and then 11 Wonders will also take on Ebusua Dwarfs. Now, Asante Kotoko are also in Cape Coast to take on Bechem United. That game will not be played at the Babaya Stadium. It will be played in Cape Coast, and Asante Kotoko have already arrived in Cape Coast for their game against Bechem United. Let's move on to more stories. And Rafa Benitez has confirmed that Ghana winger Christian Achu will play no part in the season again for Newcastle after undergoing a knee surgery. The 24-year-old sustained a knee injury some weeks ago, but played through the pain barrier until he could not continue anymore. Hence, he had to go surgery. Now, the flying winger went under the knife with a bid to make sure that he is available for pre-season, and in a sign that he has a future at the St. James's Park beyond his first full campaign with the Magpies. He will also miss Ghana's friendly games against Iceland and Japan in June, as the two opponents used the game to prepare for the World Cup in Russia. Now, Barcelona is ready to play Real Madrid.
In 2013, we shaped the course of national policy with compelling stories on education and health. In 2016, we provided the platform for political parties and the socially excluded to engage on issues of national concern. TV3 Mission is back with a bang. We navigate the turbulent terrain of deprived and hard-to-reach communities.
One message for person
Access to teaching.
empowering women to they provide about
We focus our sharp lenses on the health and educational needs of the socially excluded to influence policy interventions that promote inclusiveness.
And it tells you how
We
serious
will
this
get you result. Mission Ghana, live on News 360. Mission is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, DFID and the European Union.
Let's look at our international stories now. And Iranian President Hassan Rouhani warns that the U.S. will regret if Donald Trump scraps the nuclear agreement with Tehran.
Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has warned that the U.S. will face historic regret if Donald Trump scraps the nuclear agreement with Tehran. Mr. Rouhani's comment came as UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson travels to Washington as part of international efforts to persuade President Trump's administration not to abandon the deal. Mr. Trump has strongly criticized the agreement, which he calls insane. The deadline for a U.S. decision on whether to pull out is due in a week. The agreement signed between Iran, the U.S., China, Russia, Germany, France and Britain in 2015 lifted crippling economic sanctions on Iran in return for curbs on its nuclear program. European allies France, the UK and Germany all agree the current deal is the best way to stop Iran developing nuclear weapons, and the UN also warned Mr. Trump not to walk away from the deal. But Mr. Trump has threatened to withdraw unless the signatories agree to fix the deal's disastrous flaws. In remarks carried live on Iranian state television on Sunday, President Rouhani said if America leaves the nuclear deal, this will entail historic regret for it. He warned Iran had a plan to counter any decision Trump may take, and we will confront it. Iran insists its nuclear program is entirely peaceful and says it considers the deal non-renegotiable. The leaders of the UK, France and Germany have thrown their support behind the current agreement, but say some of the concerns raised by President Trump must be addressed. He is unhappy that it only limits Iran's nuclear activities for a fixed period and does not stop the development of ballistic missiles. He also said it had handed Iran a $100 billion windfall that is used as a slush fund for weapons, terror and oppression across the Middle East. During 2 days of talks in Washington, Mr. Johnson will meet U.S. Vice President Mike Pence, National Security Advisor John Bolton, and foreign policy leaders in Congress. Earlier this month, he said it was important to keep the deal while building on it in order to take account of the legitimate concerns of the U.S.
Now to entertainment, and winner of the 2017 Talented Kids, Erica Tando, aka DJ Swish, was adjudged the Discovery DJ of the Year at the 2018 DJ Awards.
The Ghana DJ Awards celebrates outstanding DJs for their role in promoting Ghanaian music. The anticipation was high ahead of the 2018 event.
Shall we check the bill, please? Best overall DJ of the year, DJ Andy Dusty, DJ Verosky, DJ Mike Smith, DJ Black, DJ Slim, Mr. Castro. Who happens to be your son here now? Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Verosky!
DJ Varosky, however, won big on the night, beating 2017 Best DJ Black and to win the Best DJ of the Year. DJ Varosky, the official DJ for Star FM's drive time show Star Drive, was again crowned the best DJ for the Greater Accra region. Whilst dedicating the award to his family, he acknowledged Shatter Movement and Links Entertainment for their support.
Thank my family, thank Shatter Movement, thank Links Entertainment, thanks my DJs, Toyo, DJ Page, Lucy, a big thank you to Apple House.
So congratulations to DJ Verosky. That story you just watched about was about acclaimed disc jockey DJ Verosky, who was crowned the 2017 DJ of the Year at the Ghana DJ Awards. Verosky, the official DJ for Shatawale, again also grabbed the Best DJ for Greater Accra. A real name Kofi Amoako, the gifted talent, won the topmost honors ahead of big names like DJ Black, DJ Mike Smith and DJ Andy Dusty. And shortly we'll be bringing you the story about 2017 winner, that's DJ Swish, picking the Discovery of the Year.
International School DJ Switch was nominated in 3 categories: Discovery DJ of the Year, Best Female DJ of the Year and Best Event DJ. The Kid DJ missed out on 2 categories, winning the Discovery of the Year.
All I want to say to my fans out there is that thanks to all of them for voting for me for the Discovery DJ of the Year.
The amazing talent appeared on stage on a horse and in a cowboy's hat. Call that the Gringo style. Time with DJ Switch was nothing less than fun. Beyond excelling on the turntable, DJ Switch also dazzled on the dance floor.
Trust DJ Swish to always deliver. Congratulations to our very own. And that's all for this afternoon. My name is Wendy Lai. Enjoy the rest of our programs. News 360 is at 7. Thanks for watching.